What's up, all you real beast? Magic Pat here, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the pompano rig that we used when we were out on the beach fishing with me and Pops. So we went out there. Y'all saw the video where we were just catching whiting left and right, and we were catching some sharks here and there. Mostly the rig we were using was a pompano rig. It's the same rig that you would use anytime in the spring or late fall when the pompano are running heavy. And it works really great for a lot of other species too. It works good on redfish. You saw it worked good on whiting. I mean, anything that would pick up stuff off the bottom, it'll work for. You can either use J hooks or circle hooks. I usually prefer circle hooks on them. You can have beads or floats, or you can have both. I'm just going to show you quickly what it looks like and how you put it together. That way, when you go to the beach, you'll be ready. Okay, we got a few things set out here. We got a swivel, we got a couple of hooks, and I have a couple of floats. We're going to use those for either like a float or for a bead. Just depends on how you like setting up your rig. But you have your section of line, which normally it's fluorocarbon. That's what I like to use for them, but you can use mono. I'm using some 40-pound Monster Blue just so it's a little bit easier for y'all to see. And basically, you want to just cut you off a long section, and then you want to go ahead and make yourself a dropper loop. Take it and put a loop in it like that right there. I like to hold where the lines touch on both sides. And then you sit there and you spin those two pieces that meet while keeping it separated in the middle. See, it kind of creates like almost like a little eye in the line. You reach down and you pull the line up through the middle. Be sure that you're holding this line. I like to do it on, like, say, a nail, or you can hook it onto anything soft that's not going to cut the line. You hold that loop there and you pull this tight from the sides, and it tightens down like that right there. And usually I'll go down about a foot, maybe a little less, but I like to have my leaders long most of the time. And I'll do another one. And you can do as many as you want, as long as it's legal in the waters that you fish at in Florida. I don't really think there is a limit. I try to keep it to 2 or 3 just because if you have a lot of fish on the line, they will get tangled up really bad. So usually 2 is about as much as I want to do. So you got your 2 loops. All you do is you just pinch it down, and this can either be a float or a bead. I actually like to put a float and then a bead on top of it before the hook, because it floats the bait up, but it also makes noise. And then you take your hook, and once again you just run the loop through the eye of the hook, and you bring it around the hook. And I like to do that twice. So it's over, twist, and back through. So when you tighten it down, it looks like this. So then you have your little dropper set up. And you do it to the other side. Same thing. Like I said, you can do this with either circle hooks or J hooks. Usually I feel like the circle hooks work better on this setup, but I have done J hooks when I didn't have any circle hooks with me. So line around the circle hook, twist, back around. So you got your double setup right here. Now, of course, I'm using really big circle hooks on really thick line. You want to downsize this a good bit. You want to use like size 2 or size 1/0 circle hooks, the smaller size. These are like 4/0 or 5/0 in the mustads. These are really big. But you can use these for this size if you're going for redfish and you want to put, like, say, a whole giant shrimp or chunks of mullet or something. But if you're going for the smaller stuff, you're going to want to use a lot smaller hooks. And the main line right here usually is braid that goes to the swivel, which I'm actually putting on the leader now. I have a swivel on here. The leader goes on it. Just use whatever knot you feel comfortable with. I like just the old regular fisherman's knot. Just twist it around 5 or 6 times, then bring it through the bottom loop. Just tighten it down. And make sure you wet all of these knots when you tighten them. Either put a little spit on them or a little water or something. That way it doesn't cinch up. You can actually see the waves in it because I tightened it down the incorrect way just for, you know, simplicity's sake for this video. But normally you would wet this and tighten it down. That way it doesn't put the kinks in the line. It creates friction, which burns it, makes it weak, you know. You don't want to do that when you're actually putting a big fish on the line. But then this will be a full set right here. So you attach your braid or your mono, whatever you're using, to the swivel. Then you have your leader down here. Now, whenever I'm going for pompano and whiting, I like this leader section here to be 15 or maybe 20-pound fluorocarbon. I've even went as heavy as 30 whenever there were bluefish in the surf. They still cut through it like it's nobody's business, but, you know, it's a little more forgiving. I've actually got them in a few times, and, like, the extra thickness saved it. But for the most part, when you're pompano fishing or whiting fishing, you're going to want to go with 25-pound or less fluorocarbon. I usually don't go any lower than 15. And that's the full set. Now, you can also take the bottom down here. Of course, you don't have to make the leader as long as I made it. I made it this long just so it's easy to show y'all in the video. Now, you can take the bottom part and you can either tie around your weight. I'm looking over here. I don't see any weights that I can actually use, but you could either tie it around the weight so it's directly to the leader, which I do all the time. It's just, you know, it's quicker. It doesn't really make a big difference. Or you could put a snap swivel down on the bottom. That way you could change out the size of your weights whenever you're fishing. So if you put a 3 ounce and you see the current is pulling it, you can just unclip it and put a 5 ounce or whatever you feel is, you know, appropriate without having to keep cutting the line. But that's a simple little pompano rig. It'll work for just about anything you want it to. I've caught giant redfish on them. I've caught black drum on them. And this is with the 15-pound fluorocarbon, nothing fancy. I've caught giant bluefish on it. They got lucky and didn't cut the line with their teeth. Caught big pompano, caught whiting. I've caught multiple whiting on the same leader before whenever they're running heavy. I've caught 2 to 3 whiting at a time. So that's it. It's just a quick little video just to show y'all how to do it. Go ahead and rig you up one and get out there and catch you some fish.